What's going on, guys? Craig Seville over here. I'm 22 years old. I'm a White Wolf ambassador, a natural bodybuilder, and an NPL influencer. To some in South Africa, I'm known as the NPL guy, but my handle is at Craig_Seville. If you guys want to know more, catch me on the live podcast with John Cook, also known as the Supplement Advisor. Peace.
Hey Craig, how's it, man?
Good in yourself?
Good, man. Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, 100%. Let me just turn my volume up a little. Okay, cool.
Okay, cool, man. 100%. All right, bud. So, obviously you got your intro out. Can you tell us a bit more about yourself? I mean, I know you told us the basics that you're the NPL guy, but what else, man?
What else? Okay. Well, basically, to everybody listening, I am 22 years old. I'm still a student. I'm studying computer science and information systems at WITS. I'm in my third year, so I'm going to be finishing this year, hopefully, if COVID-19 doesn't get in the way. But yeah, basically, I have two courses: software design, analysis of algorithms, and then I'll be a qualified computer scientist. Not too sure if I'm going to be going into that field because obviously fitness kind of took over my life, and it's what I'm passionate about.
Okay. And then, okay, sorry, carry on, bud.
Yeah, sorry. What else about me? Basically, I'm not your average influencer. I'm not the guy that's going to sell a product if I don't use it myself or if I don't believe in it. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm raw, I'm honest. If I don't like you, I'm going to tell you I don't like you. I'm going to tell you why I don't like you. We'll work through it. The reason this is on my mind right now is obviously because of what's been happening in the fitness industry. I'm sure you know about it yourself.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And I just feel like being real, being honest, is just the way to go. So basically, how I became an NPL influencer, maybe to those that don't actually know how, I used to be a promoter for them back in 2017. I started promoting. I got into working full time on a contract basis, actually, and I basically would run events. I would go to different pop-up stands and assist with promoting the products that were on hand at the time. And I decided, you know what, let me try and push that on social media as well. A couple of years went by. I started working for them more often. I went in full time with them, and I became the events coordinator. So I dealt with all the athletes. I dealt with all the events, FIBO, Arnold Classic, and yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of work. I mean, I worked anywhere between 8 and 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it was really rough. Obviously, that put a hold on my studies, and that's why I'm currently finishing it this year only. I kind of resigned from NPL, and when I left them, they didn't want me to leave completely. And so they offered me an influencer package where I still attend events, I still sample products, I still obviously promote online. And like I said, I'm going to promote things that I use myself, not something that looks fake and just for the sales. So yeah, I've been using their products since 2016 actually, and have got amazing results from that.
Okay, cool, man. And then what age did you get involved into the fitness industry? Because obviously your dad, he's a natural bodybuilder, right?
Yes, so that's actually a funny story. In 2015, I matriculated, but the beginning of 2015, I was very, I guess every fitness star or influencer has some sort of insecurity. So I was overweight. I weighed 88 kilos. My body fat was 25% plus. And my dad, the same thing. We used to mountain bike, so we'd eat a lot of calories, and you know the whole carb up process. We didn't actually understand nutrition back then, so we got overweight. My dad's got a home gym, so I've been training since 2014, like September, and I never really took nutrition seriously. until matric. And both my dad and I started this fitness challenge. He's obviously sponsored by USN, so it was a USN body makeover challenge, 12 weeks. And I used it as a way to lose weight, to pick up girls. That was my whole intention. Also, just to gain some confidence. And in those 12 weeks, I learned a lot about nutrition. I learned a lot more about training, and just kind of how the body changes and adapts to certain stimulus that you provide it with. And at the end of the 12 weeks, I weighed 73 kilos. So I was actually very skinny. My body fat measured at 9%. So for me, that was like an amazing achievement. My dad also, he dropped a lot of weight. He dropped, I think, 19 kilos and about 11% body fat as well.
Sure.
And that kind of kickstarted his fitness career, because he then got sponsored by USN as the people's choice in the USN body makeover. And that led him to competing in his first show, which is obviously the INBA. You knew it back then as the INBA, which was in Durban.
Yeah.
And I think just watching him compete that year in 2015 kind of sparked my interest on how the muscle develops, and you don't take all these fancy supplements. You don't have to gear, so they call it. And he just achieved amazing things. I mean, he went from being overweight to being completely shredded. Yes, he lost a lot of mass, but he built up after that. And in 2016, he competed then in IFBB and in NABA. He was coached by Vic Ali. A lot of people know him, GTS trainings, Genius Training Systems, GTS.
Yeah.
And he changed my dad's physique completely. My dad qualified for the Arnold Classic in 2017. So when my dad was competing for that and prepping, I kind of decided, you know what, let me jump on board. I hired Vic as my coach, and we started prepping the same time. I took part in the IFBB Central Gauteng Novice Show, and that was kind of 2 weeks before the Arnold Classic, 2017. So my dad and I prepped together. We were in it together, you know, just sharing knowledge, sharing the motivation. When you're low and you don't want to train, you know your dad's in the gym training, so you can't cry. You have to go and do your set, do your workout, get it over with. And when I stepped on stage, I was very, very nervous. It was obviously my first show. I was standing in a Speedo. No one, I was, how old was I? That was 3 years ago. So I was 19 years old, standing in a Speedo on stage. I was in second year, and I just couldn't get over the feeling of, I actually achieved this. Like, yes, I'm nervous, but I actually achieved something. And that sparked, I used zero gear in that time frame. I'm still, as of today, a natural athlete. And it was amazing to see that the guys I competed against, they were obviously asking me, what did I use? How did I get so lean? Everybody's obsessed with my legs. I guess cycling and genetics play a role with that. So people kept on asking me, am I using? And I guess they didn't believe that you can achieve that conditioning without using. And so it kind of sparked my interest to see, okay, what is the steroids that people are talking about? What's the difference between natural bodybuilding and the enhanced guys? And I'm not taking it away from them. They are amazing. We all want to achieve physiques like the enhanced guys. But when I saw what you can achieve naturally, just in my own physique, in my dad's physique, I knew that I wanted to achieve my genetic potential. I wanted to see how far I can push my own body before I introduce anything into my system. And I guess that's kind of what sparked my fitness career, was when I started losing weight and seeing how my dad's physique changed and my own physique. It was just fantastic for me.
And your first show, what was your placing at your first show?
At my first show, so I competed in 2 divisions. I wanted to do junior classic because I was still a junior. I'm still a junior as is, but I wanted to do junior classic, and unfortunately the novice show didn't have that. So I did classic bodybuilding and junior bodybuilding just to see kind of where I fit. And in junior bodybuilding, I placed third in a lineup of 6 guys, and in classic bodybuilding, 6 guys, I placed second. The guys that beat me, obviously both they were on gear. They've been training for quite some time, and I remember the feedback from the judges were, you have amazing flow, you've got an X frame, you just need to work on your upper body and get a bit thicker. But it takes time, and you're still a junior, so just keep working. And that's kind of what I took throughout every single show, every single prep I did, whether it's a photo shoot, whether it was a show that I've competed in, or just for summer. It was that just keep going, keep consistent, just keep training, keep eating, just doing what I love, basically.
Yeah, I mean, yes, bro. I mean, that's great for your first time around. I mean, geez, that's that's. And by the how important is the role of your father? Obviously, like being there with you and everything like that. Like, how important has it been for you? Because obviously, you did mention that it's quite important, but to what kind of extent?
Yeah. So look, obviously, a son always looks up to his father and what he does. I mean, my dad used to do motorbike racing. He used to do shooting. He would do like basically everything my dad did, I wanted to do. And when we did mountain biking, he took it really competitively, and I did the same. My brother did the same. The whole family got involved. And so when he started competing and I wanted to prep with him, he first told me, train, eat, you'll get there, you'll get there. And when he allowed me to prep with him in 2017, it was very special to me because I was prepping with my dad. And not a lot of kids get to say that. Not a lot of people get to say that they've prepped with their dad or they've done something with their dad. So it was a special moment for me. And even now, I mean, last year he competed with me and we stood on stage together, and that was something else. That was like, we had the exact same goal, the exact same deadline. So it was both a drive to be able to actually compete and finish the prep, but also like motivation. You got to beat your dad, Craig. You got to beat your dad. I mean, he's older than you, he's been training longer than you. So let's see what your genetics can do, what your dedication and hard work can do. And I think even though he will fade away from competing, he's never gonna stop training because that's what he loves doing. And so having that in my corner, knowing that when I'm older, I'm going to have mature muscles. I'm gonna still be into fitness. I'm still gonna be training even if I don't compete. I had an experience with my dad that will last forever.
I mean, that's power, man. And how many shows have you done so far? Like you said, you just did that one in 2017, and I know you have competed at RCN as well.
Yes. Okay, so the one in 2017. So 2 shows in total. So basically from 2015 till now, I've done. So 2015 was my first prep, if you want to call it that, the fitness challenge that I did. 2016, I did a photo shoot with a company called Monster Gymwear. Very small company, South African company. And then I took some time off towards the end of the year. And then 2017, I prepped for the IFBB show. After that, I wanted to compete in summer super bodies, but my dad said, focus on your studies, finish your studies, get that through, and then you can pay for your own prep. You know, you can go look for work, and because prep's expensive. So 2017, towards the end of the year, I kind of took an off season, and the whole of 2018 until the end of 2018, I prepped for our holiday. And then last year was my second show, which was ICN. So back in the day, it used to be called INBA in South Africa, and then you know yourself, Eugene kind of converted it to ICN, which he affiliated with. Basically, ICN stands for I Compete Natural. So it's another natural federation. The founder actually started INBA, and because of politics, there's always politics in bodybuilding. He started another federation where he kind of wanted to give prize money and be true to the sport of natural bodybuilding. So he tests all the pros, and before you get paid, your tests have to come back. And if you're positive, you ban for life, and you are put up on their wall of shame on the website, basically. Yeah. So I gravitate towards things like that, where it's honesty. Yes, there's politics. Yes, some people lie and they could fake their tests, But when I competed in Durban, you could see that these guys are natural. You could see that they work hard, but obviously their physiques aren't going to be as dry and as unnatural as the enhanced guys. So I competed in Durban. I placed first in the novice and novice overalls. So in my lineup, I was in the over 180 centimeters high class. And then in open bodybuilding, in my high class, over 180, I placed first, and I was battling it out with another guy in the overalls. And unfortunately, I took second there, but it was a good battle. One of my most memorable experiences, because the guy, it comes down to displaying your physique. The judges, the head president of ICN actually flew from Australia to judge the show. And he
Sure.
said that there was nothing that could separate our physiques except the way I did my mandatory poses. So that's what I've been working on a lot. My side profile, if you want to call it that, didn't stand out as much as what his did. He was able to accentuate it more. And because of that, I lost literally by 1 point.
And
So,
okay, sorry, man.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, and then how big was the show? Because I remember going the year before, and there was more judges than people in the stands.
Yeah, that was so ICN kind of died out from 2015. INBA stopped being promoted in South Africa, and I think it's just because of what, like, Eugene wasn't able to market it as much because he's got a lot of things on his plate. He does a lot of things everywhere, and it just kind of died out. So last year there were about 20 athletes maybe. So only guys competed. And although it was small, the divisions, like, everybody wanted to do a lot of divisions to see where they fit and where they placed. And because the ICN president himself came over, I think less ladies were enticed because they didn't know the federation. And because of that, there were about 20 guys. But it at least qualified you for the world champs in Melbourne, Australia. And that was a massive show. There were over 300 athletes that competed at that show.
Okay, and then what made you not go to the show? Because I know obviously you qualified.
Yeah. Okay, so that show, so the ICN African Naturals took place in August. I resigned from NPL due to constraints in my life, due to being stuck in my degree and not being able to finish it. Having finished half of the degree, half of my third year, the information system spot, and not finishing the computer science kind of, I think it played on my mind, and I kind of wanted to finish that. So I finished a couple of courses towards the end of last year, but in order to finish them, I had to go full time and I had to resign from MPL. And because I resigned from MPL, I wasn't able to afford my own prep, even though I did do like a little mini prep just to look good in Melbourne because I went to support my dad. Obviously, when you prep, your body fat drops really, really low, and you
Yeah.
can't focus on your exams, you can't focus on anything other than the prep. And because of that, because I needed to finish my studies, because I had a couple of courses to do, I decided that that was more important at the time, and I can focus and use this time to grow. Because when I got to Australia, the caliber of athletes are next level. Some of those natural guys can stand against our enhanced guys in SA and win. That's the level that they take it to. So I just supported my dad in his prep because he really wanted to do it. And when we went there, I supported him. I helped him buy his food, helped him prep his food, kind of just helped him on stage with his posing cues. And we had a couple of other guys go there as well. Jason Denny from Durban,
Yeah.
and he looked phenomenal. He actually got his pro card there. And I had FOMO. I mean, I'm pretty sure you have FOMO from not competing for so long as well.
Yep.
So you can imagine what I felt just being there, being in the atmosphere of the athletes themselves. But it was a goal for me to work towards, because if I go to world champs, I want to be of world caliber and hopefully get my pro card. because that's the goal in the end of the day. You want to become a pro, you want to start making money doing what you love.
Yeah, 100%. And do you think that there is potential for RCN to grow further in South Africa?
Look, in South Africa, I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of natural guys become despondent and they leave natural bodybuilding. Number one, because no one promotes it. And number two, because they're scared of waiting, they want everything now. And look, INBA is still in South Africa. It's managed by another lady, and she was supposed to have a show in March, which was a pro qualifier. But because of COVID-19, a lot of the shows that she planned had to be shifted or canceled completely. In terms of ICN itself, it is very big in Australia, very big in China, very big in Korea, and slowly getting traction in America. But the problem is in SA, we have no one promoting it. We have Eugene, who's the president, who's trying to promote it. We have guys in Swaziland and Lesotho who are obviously trying to promote it there as well. And in Lesotho, it's actually gained a lot of traction. There was supposed to be a show now on the 1st of May. I was supposed to go down and support him, and my dad and I were going to be talking to the athletes themselves to give them more motivation about the world champs. But COVID-19 forced him to actually close that show as well. But the guy in Lesotho is promoting it more than we are in SA, and that's what's scary. So yes, there's potential for growth because I've gotten so many requests, not only from guys, but from ladies who want to compete nationally, who have left certain coaches because they are forced to take certain drugs that they don't want to. So I think that there is potential for growth. We just are not, or I should say the president himself is not marketing it the way it should be.
And the show that's supposed to be happening in August, do you think is going to be a much bigger show?
Well, I know you want to compete, so the more people that compete or want to compete and know of it, the bigger the show will be. I think because of me showing what happened in Australia and the kind of athletes that were there have brought a lot more natural guys out of the closet. I have a whole group of friends now on Instagram that I've met just through natural bodybuilding, and they promote it every day. They are, so to speak, natural athletes and lifetime natural athletes, and they continuously promote that you don't know your genetic potential until you've reached it, and you never know when you reach it until you stop growing. So if you're always seeing progress, if you're always like making progress, you haven't reached your potential yet. And because of that, I think the more people who preach that, who promote that, the bigger the show will be. So, I mean, if we start now, if let's say at the end of this lockdown, gyms are slowly opening up again and people are able to train maybe, I don't know, like 100 at a time or even 20 at a time, and they're able to start their preps and they start promoting that they're competing in Durban at this show, then yes, it will be big. I believe that we can have at least 50 males and maybe 30 females, which is a massive jump from last year. It's 80 athletes, 80 natural athletes in South Africa. New Zealand had about 30 who competed in World Champs. So, I mean, it's a big jump from 20 last year to 80 this year.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, when I went, when was it, like 2 years ago? I mean, I don't know if I was impressed or not, man. I was just very despondent, man, because here you have to pay, I think it was like $100 something for a ticket. And there you sit, and there you're sitting,
Yes.
you like literally, there's like maybe 5 other people in like the whole hall as well. And then you get like 4 judges. And then obviously the physiques displayed went, you know, to a kind of standard that I thought where someone could take it, you know. But obviously last year that was an exception with, you know, obviously you being there and a few other guys as well. So I just think that it's just unfortunate, you know, that it can actually be bigger. But I think, I don't know if more people are like starting towards gear than ever before, you know. So I think that could also be one of the factors as well, because like now guys aren't really that keen on like a big bulky physique. They want like, the shredded kind of look, like that, like maybe kind of look. So from what we understand, they aren't using as much gear as say like a full on, like Ronnie Coleman, for example, or something like that. So I think that's one of the bigger influences as well, is that guys like, they are taking a bit of gear. So, they won't even qualify for RCN.
I think so too. I think people are rushing the goal. They want a shredded, thick Chris Bumstead physique, and they're not willing to put in at least 2 years to achieve half of that. They want the full package now. And I've seen a lot of younger guys, exactly what you're saying. They're not abusing the gear like most people do, or have in the past, but they definitely starting small. They may be on a small dose, running it here and there, trying to sneak that they're still natural, not making big jumps. And I think because of that, it's steering people away from natural bodybuilding, because you see a guy that was natural for, let's say, 3 years, and then he makes this little jump and his physique is completely different. And then he makes no progress, and then again another little jump. So maybe it's the industry is changing. Maybe it's the people, like I say, they want things now. They're not willing to wait.
And do you think that you'll always be natural, or do you think there will come a point in time where you might like maybe think about it or something like that? Because dude, that's how it happened with me. I think I've been training since I think 14, and then I knew after about 4 years, I was like, if you want to take to the next level, you're going to have to start, man. And there was I think.
Yeah, so you started at 18. Then, how long did that last?
Well, what happened was, it was a very sketchy ordeal. I remember going to Hillcrest to see my grandmother, and then next thing I met this guy at the gym, some sketchy guy, and then he was like, all right, I got some super test here. I know you want to take it to the next level. This is what you want to do. You want to be an RPB pro. I was like, yeah, okay. He gave me some super tests, like in a vial and everything. And I remember just injecting myself once, but not cleaning the spot. So that ended up being the abscess. So I only took, I think it caused a lot more damage than what people could assume something would do. Like, once I got scared. Hey, Craig.
No idea what happened there.
Bro, no, this happened yesterday with Jake as well, man. It does like a few minutes, and then it does this, and then I don't know what happens to the actual first recording, but I think it's going to be saved in the library somewhere. Let's hope and pray.
Yeah, let's hope. Maybe we'll just, for those that did tune in later, we'll try and get the footage or the content again. Hopefully it's saved, but if not, my intro that John will post basically some who I am. But yeah, we were speaking about you starting your cycle.
Actually got it quite mixed up, man. Debo, the tablets, and I just saw myself gain quite a bit of weight from that, but also strength as well. So I was about 17. And man, then about 18 years old, I tried super test to take it to the next level. And yeah, man, I remember just not cleaning the injection site properly, and then I had an abscess, and then my family doctor told me, he's like, if you try this again, I'm going to call the police.
That's it.
Yeah, man, so I kind of got a bit scared there, man, but and then during that year matric, I did do my first show, but I was natural. And then man, I never, I don't know, man, I think I was so scared, man, because in yourself, if you don't take this full leap and you go on the cycle now, you kind of just never going to do it. I never had the courage in me to do it, man, because here you are where information isn't that really available back then, and there's no one you can really turn to, because who do I ask? Because back then there wasn't any kind of coaches like there are now. So I was basically doing everything on my own. So yeah, man, I think after that I was petrified, man, to ever try it again. It caused me so much anxiety and stress just to think about it. And man, so after that, then a couple years down the line, Julian Ramsey was my coach. I don't know if
Yes,
you know
yes, yes.
Julian
One of my
Ramsey.
friends are actually coached by him now.
Yes. Yeah. Your friend, his name,
Chad.
man. Sorry,
Chad.
I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
His name is Chad, right? I think. Yeah, Chad. So Julian Ramsey was training me, and man, I mean, he took my physique from one place to the next. But then obviously we were talking about, you have to use something. I was like, okay, cool. So then he said, like, maybe try some clean, because obviously clean isn't a direct anabolic. So I used clean, I used ECAs, and I wasn't too clued up, man, about all that stuff as yet, because he didn't put me on any kind of steroid, but he put me on clean ECAs. I got properly
Yeah.
cut. Must have been sitting way under 10% at like 12 weeks out, 9 weeks out. I was under 10%, and yeah, man. Then I just remember I was about 4 weeks out from like the first show, and then Julian was telling me, he was like, man, you're going to win the show. I was like, shit, okay, it's like an under 21 novice, all right, like, but it's an
Yeah,
IFBB
it's a
show.
big deal.
So I'm like, shit, all right, cool. So then I remember 4 weeks out, man. I just woke up that morning and I couldn't get out of bed. I was feeling sick. And then that's the same time I went to the doctor, and then I was just like, there's a sensitivity in my chest. And then doctor felt it. She said, son, you got Ghana. And I was like, oh, shit. All right. So then I went to Julian. I was like, dude, what do I do? And he was like, well, you can take something to try and reverse it. But then I remember the doctor telling me specifically, it was like, it's too far gone. It was like, you have to have an operation or you can risk getting cancer. So, yeah. So that's when I had my Ghana up, man. So I've been through the ropes, man. Yeah. So
That's a bit rough, eh?
yeah.
I think you've learned, obviously, look, everybody tries something, everybody wants to try something. I've had the thought, we all have those guys in the gym, you look at them and you're like, you see how they train, they're not putting in effort, but they look a certain way. And I think I've had a couple of times where I was like, I'd be massive, I'd be insanely, I'd become a pro from my work ethic. And I know it sounds like I'm tooting my horn, but I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on YouTube and check out my stuff, I obviously put in the effort. It's not like I'm not backing it up with action. So I've had thoughts. I think it's my dad that's been an influence, a positive influence to say no, but also the physiques that I've seen, and what you can achieve naturally, and like looking at how far I've come myself. Will I stay natural forever? I cannot say right now. I know that in the next 10 years, I will still be a natural athlete. I know that for sure. That's deep down in my heart. I know that I will never ever touch that. Let's say I go to an endocrinologist by the age of 35, 40, and I see that my testosterone is nowhere near it needs to be to become a pro or to compete on an IFBB pro stage, then yes, I would probably request for a TRT dose. I'm sure you are familiar yourself with that. And I'd probably go on something really, really small. So nothing crazy, and only when it's necessary, only when it will actually benefit me and not cause me harm. I guess I want to live first and then try. So I won't say no, I'll never try, and I won't say yes, I'm going to definitely do it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like, you'll think there was the end part for me, man, but that was just the beginning. I remember, well, since that operation, like, I had to wear a compression vest for about 2 months. And
That's crazy.
when you're wearing this compression vest, man, there's tubes like inside your actual chest, like the tubes. Like, they had to cut like an incision by my nipple, so there won't be any clotting. So I had these tubes in me for about 2 months. I couldn't bath properly. I had to let my then girlfriend, my wife, like, bathe me, and you just brew my whole chest, man. Like, I had a good chest back then, and then just everything, bro. Like, you just don't understand, man. Like, once the tubes are out, once the compression vest off, everything was just like, there was nothing left, man. It was just like bone. And that kind of put me in a place where I wanted to try and, like, naturally again, but like, had so much determination in me. So I gave it a go, And I just remember like something someone said to me the once. I knew this guy, but I went to the IFBB show to try and compete after all this guy, and then competed. Obviously, I wasn't where I wanted to be, but this guy doesn't know anything about me, right? Like we were there waiting for like announcements on who's to go to the next level or next, you know what I mean, when they kind of sort me out. So I assumed I was called because there was no one excluded. Then when I looked at the list, only my name wasn't there. So I looked like a bit of a tosser. So then the guy looked at me and he just said, "Man, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to push a bit harder next." And then I just looked at it. I was just like, I was like, okay. So then I just left it, man. But that like really fueled me, bro, to obviously competing my next show, which was natural. I came fourth place at like a provincial. It was in Northwest. I remember I couldn't peak for any show, bro. In 6 months, I wasn't peaking. Decided to get Morris Doan as my coach because my testosterone. I was like, how can you not peak for a show? Like you're dieting hard, you're doing your cardio, everything like usual. But I'm not peaking, man. So 6 months of dieting, no cheat, nothing. Only show I could kind of compete was what's the show Northwest. So I did it. Happy, man. I mean, as a natural guy coming forward, I was just like, wow, all right, cool, man.
Yeah, that's
so
amazing.
After that, I knew. After that, I knew, man. I was like, okay, you finished. You're not 23 anymore, so you can't kind of fall back to that as a safety net. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have to go on a course. Like, I want to try this properly. But the issue is that I bought from a very infamous, like gear place, which, I don't want to say too much. Just basically, it was made in the house. And I just remember using this brand, and initially it was good, man.
Yeah.
But then coming off of it, I just noticed I had a flare up again of Ghana. And now I'm losing my mind, man. I'm like, dude, I'm getting like Ghana again, because it is possible it can actually come back. Because you can't completely get rid of it. Yeah, so it started to actually come back. And I just remember freaking out, man, because the stuff I'm using isn't as good quality as they claimed it is. So, I kind of gained like about 20 kgs during that time. I went from like 95 to maybe like 110 or so, like 15, 20 kgs around there.
Yeah.
But then, man, after that, the water mass and everything just started like coming off, man. Then it was just like, it was kind of a softer physique because now the testosterone isn't in me anymore. So I stressed, man. And that's when I met, I'm sure you know, Dr. Ardo Khan.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's when I met him, and he was the only one that could help me, man. Like, that's why I take my hat off to him. Yes. He was the only one that could help me. So he gave me PCT. I was on the PCT. He sorted me out. Bro, like, you don't understand the depression you get into once your testosterone is low. I like didn't have any kind of energy. I didn't want to live. Bro, it was just shit. And after, yeah, dude, and I mean that's why I'm such an advocate of it, bro. Because to go through stuff like that, and you kind of look at people that go through instances without you really knowing them, choose, and it's like it's not funny, man. It's just like So after he put me on the PCT, I still noticed, man, like for that whole entire year, I just wasn't seeing any progress, no results. No matter how much cardio I throw at myself, I wasn't burning any fat, nothing. So I went back to him. I said, all right, I think there's a problem. I think I have low test. So he tested me, and I think he told me my test is sitting at about 8, and it's supposed to be sitting at around about higher 30s, the total test.
Yeah.
So I literally had like test deficiency. And the thing is, what people understand is once you're on TOT, it's a lifetime thing. It's not just like, all right, cool, I just need to go on one vial, I'll be sorted. No, man, it's for life. And that's why I kind of side against people that don't really know what they're doing when it comes to gear or when they're buying shit. Like, bro, buy pharmaceutical, don't buy anything at all.
Exactly. I think I'm this exact same thing as what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, but I mean, I had to test the boats to see where I could go. But at the same time, man, it's not that I am like I want to compete ICN, right? But like I know that this TOT I'm on is not taking my physique to this crazy, extraordinary level. You know what I mean? It's just I'm just me, but like now at least I can live because I'm functioning as a normal male. Because my testosterone is within the range now where it's supposed to be, not over, but just within.
Exactly. I think people that use gear or assume that TRT is using and putting you at an advantage are people who don't really work hard in the first place. As much as what, yes, you are introducing compounds that are not natural, you are trying to be natural. You are trying to be a normal man. So I'm pretty sure that if you were tested, if you were checked, you'd be normal. Your levels would be where it should be, and um, it's not putting you at an advantage, in my opinion. When someone obviously goes on their crazy doses, I mean, you see all these athletes in SA, all the IFBB. You go to IFBB and you're going to see guys that are using. That's the unfortunate truth. And you'll see their physiques are different.
Yeah.
So your physique is amazing right now, but it's not going to be like one of the IFBB pros, for example, or competitors, because again, you're not doing what they're doing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, I mean, and then you get some guys that really do have that those genetics. Like I'll give you a great example. My brother-in-law. I mean, dude, I don't know what level his testosterone is, or if he has a natural trend inside of him, but he's just a perfect example. Like he's just someone that, if he wanted to, man, he can do wonders. But at the same time, he also had that in him where he was like, he also wants to use something. But I'm like, dude, you got everything in your palm. Like you can do this, but like, that's the thing. You get guys that want to compete, who want to take that risk, and guys who don't. At the same time now, dude, I think we've seen it that more people are comfortable with just living a good lifestyle than actually competing. Do you think that's true?
I was actually speaking to a couple of people today about that, because I spoke to them and I told them, look, you've got an amazing physique. You do really well on stage from what I've seen. And I know these are natural people. Yeah. They were actually two ladies. And they kept telling me, as much as what they wanted to compete in the past, after what's been happening in the fitness industry, they kind of demotivated, because people, as much as what they want it all to be positive, they know there's negative. But the extent to which people are taking the negativity is a bit too far and demotivating for them. They also people want to live a healthier lifestyle right now more than take it to an extreme. But I think that's just South Africa, because you see overseas new IFBB pros all the time. In Australia, you see fitness is their lifestyle. And when it becomes their lifestyle, competing is just another day for them. They'll do a 25-week prep, but in those 25 weeks, they're still living life.
Yeah.
They're enjoying it. They're going out with friends. And when it comes time to competing, they're ready already because of the lifestyle that they're living. So I think in South Africa, we are a long way away from that. We could achieve it tomorrow if we really wanted to, but I don't think that's what people want. They're trying to get to the Olympia physiques. And you'll see the guys that are living the healthy lifestyle are, like you say, they want to be focused on that lifestyle and not competing.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe something happens in the industry itself, not just in SA, where people's interests are sparked again. I don't know if you know about The Rock's show.
No, you're talking about Dwayne The Rock.
Yeah, Dwayne The Rock.
I'm not so sure, but you can fill me in.
Okay, so he's got this show that he's giving away more money than the Mr. Olympia makes, basically. Yeah. And you're only allowed to be invited to the show. So if you, let's say, haven't won the Olympia, right, but you are in the top 3 and you then invited, or if you've never qualified for the Olympia because, let's say, you just did the Arnold Classic and you've won that, you get invited. So specific physiques are invited, and it's basically putting the best of the best. It's like his show called the Titan Games, but for bodybuilding. And I think it's a great idea, because the Olympia is just becoming too mainstream. It's no more the be and all. It's not the cream of the crop, basically. Whereas this show is giving away more money. It's got a lot more, I think, media attention once COVID-19 is over. And in my opinion, if he did this and had two divisions, if he said, because there's only about 10 people that are allowed to enter that are invited. So if he said 10 people in open bodybuilding are enhanced, and here's the natural division, and he actually goes to natural federations and maybe invites them, I think that it would grow even more, and more people would watch, more people would be interested, and then be able to see the difference between an open bodybuilder who's been training for years and is natural versus an enhanced guy who's been training for years. So if something like that was thrown into the pot, I think everybody would want a piece of it.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like I also think as well, man, I don't know, social media is kind of like destroying everyone's, because you know how back in the day how it used to be where it was almost like a taboo, and I think that kind of drove people to wanting to be a bodybuilder because you know not everyone was doing it, but now it seems like you don't have to actually do a show. You can just upload a nice picture on Instagram, you know, get a sponsor, and that's basically how it is now.
Yeah, be a muscle model, basically. I think you're right. I think that social media does play a role in it, that people are gonna steer away from the stage, and I mean they can get sponsored without competing nowadays. You can get sponsored just by being a housewife, but you show fitness in a different way. Like Gymshark, there are a couple of athletes who don't actually train, who don't actually have outstanding physiques. They look good, yes, but it's not outstanding. And they'll be doing some dance fitness, for example. And because it's different, because you stand out, you'll get sponsored. And I think more people are going towards that, to how can I make fitness part of my life, or companies in general? I'm not sure about you being involved with so many companies. What are they looking for?
Oh, dude, that's a good question, man. I mean, bro, I mean, I'm like a diehard fan of the old school, like, you know, Ronnie Coleman's and Dorian Yates and stuff like that. I see the trend is obviously gearing towards what you said now, like Gymshark. It's just like, you know, someone with a good following. I think someone that represents good health. That's obviously one of the key elements. I'm seeing less and less like mass sponsors being sponsored and whatnot. I think I don't know like if there's a big exit from it completely, because I mean, like, look at it on stage as well. We don't see those kind of caliber athletes anymore, you know. So yeah, I just think I think that people could be more gearing towards like a natural kind of physique, which is good. Even companies as well, because they kind of see that, all right, you know what, this guy doesn't have to have the best physique to have like a great following. You know, he could maybe have a good personality, have good knowledge and stuff like that. I think that's what American companies want now.
I think so too. I would agree with you there. In terms of South African companies, I think it's more of a following.
Yeah, it is.
So for me, for example, I could have been sponsored by MPL a while back. Obviously, I didn't have a great following on social media, but what I was putting out there, the content I was putting out there, I mean, I was posting almost every day, putting on my stories. I was living NPL, but when I hit 1,000, I think it was 1,100 followers, and I left the company, that's kind of when I was signed on as an influencer. But you need to have a great following or have great money to be noticed in South Africa. I think if, let's say, I don't have a great following, but I'm very, like, the 1,000 people that do follow me are sharing my stuff or saving it, my engagement is insane. An overseas company would snatch someone like that up, because that's 1,000 customers that they didn't have. And I think that's what the difference between even competing, like the whole industry in general, companies, athletes, they don't see the little things. They see, okay, this guy's got 50,000 followers. He's competed on this stage and this stage. He's using gear, so his physique is always good. Let's take him.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think also like another factor to weigh is that I don't think companies actually kind of grasp, you know, the social media, especially in South Africa, where, you know, followers don't like actually mean as much as people think they do. You know, as you said, it's like your kind of like your conversations in your DMs people don't see, or you look at the insights, you see, okay, 100 people saved your story, 200 times it got like sent to someone else. Those kind of small things make a difference.
Yeah. No, they make a big difference. I mean, I guess, okay, so my whole thing is I don't do it for likes. I don't do it for views or subscribers. I do it to put information out there to help one person. And that's one person that maybe didn't see it in the beginning. That one person could share to another 2 people, to another 5 people. And the chain reaction is what should grip companies, what should grip individuals. Don't do it for the likes, for the fame. Do it because you enjoy doing it, and do it for that one person that might see it. I know you do the exact same. You don't just put out content there that maybe looks good for Instagram. You're gonna put out the truth. You're gonna put out real reviews. And to be honest, I think that more companies should look at a platform like yours and allow you to do that, because you won't be biased towards, like, for example, for me, okay, because I've got a contract with a company, I'm not able to say I use certain other things where I do. I'm human. And every other sponsored athlete is going to. I mean, if one company is giving them, let's say, 1,000 Rand a month for supplements, but then they find something in Discam or private supplement store that's on sale from a different company, they're going to buy that.
Of course.
They're human. So I just feel that what should happen, maybe Albert Leroux's obviously not doing it anymore, but you should, instead of calling out the industry, call out the companies now. So instead of hating on people, call out companies, call out what they want, what they're searching for, or what the people think they're searching for. And maybe that could spark something. Obviously do it in a better way, a better format, and not promote the hate, more promote the topic itself.
Yeah, I mean, like, did you listen to that YouTube video with?
Yes, I did. It was very informative.
100%. Like, I think all that Albert did, he was just like a middleman for something that was going to spill over eventually. I know, like, dude, like, I was called out here too, right? And like, you can either take that on the chin or you can complain about it, dude. But at the end of the day, complaints mean nothing anymore, so you're just basically complaining to yourself, and that's the thing. People always want like a validation nowadays, but there isn't really any. But I mean, you're on social media, people talk. It's just one of those things.
Exactly. And I think companies don't see that. I think the industry itself doesn't see that. They want to see the sunshine and rainbows, and they are hurt as what we've seen when the truth comes out, where the truth should be first and then the positive, the compliment. If everything's true, you have complete happiness. And that's what American companies do. That's what European companies do. That's why they first world countries and we still a third world country.
That's facts, man. I mean, like, as you're saying, when it comes to me, man, like, I just want to be honest, dude. And companies take it as a threat, but it's honestly shouldn't be, man. I mean, your products are out there. If someone tastes it and it tastes shit, then it tastes shit. I mean, you can't hide it.
Exactly. And that's why I'm still sponsored by MPL, because they know that I'm sharing the truth. They know that if I say take digestive enzymes, you're going to take it because it's going to reduce bloat, it's going to help with nutrient absorption. I'm going to give you all the facts. If I say I don't use this, I don't use it. I know what it does, but I don't use it. I'm not a fan of it. I'll rather suggest something else. Being real, being open, and not just making a sale, but developing a relationship. That's kind of what's gotten me to where I am today. Because I'm developing relationships and I'm giving it to you as is. If you come to me at an event and you ask me, should I still take my protein shake immediately post-workout? I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you that it's not going to make any difference to your recovery right then. What you ate 3 hours ago will be digested, and that's going to be helping with your recovery. So I say it like it is. I say, take the shake, this is how it's going to be digested. This is how it tastes. I like it. You might not, but don't assume that you're going to look like me because you suddenly have the same shape.
Do you always think that you'll be, well, if another company had to come along, would you still be faithful to NPL?
I have been approached to work for another company, and I was offered a deal. I declined it, so I remain faithful to NPL. Not because I'm called the NPL guy, but I think because I believe in the products, because of their non-proprietary blend, because of the taste of the products I use. Like I said, I'm not going to use something or promote something I don't actually use myself. So the products that I order and the products that I use, I know work. I know why they work, and I know what they do in my prep.
Yeah.
I have wanted to work for other companies before, obviously international. Evox, I believe in a lot of their product. Not Evox, sorry, Evogen, the honey Rambon. I don't know if you've supplemented or tried any of these products, but
actually,
I believe in a lot of their products.
But I don't know what's going to happen to them, right? Because Chrome have them, and from what I understand, Chrome's not doing well at all.
Yes, I heard that too. I heard Chrome's closing down. But I mean, no international company sponsors us. Even if we're in Chrome, or even if they're in Chrome or Extreme Nutrition, no international company sponsors South African
Wait,
athletes.
there is actually one. EHP.
Okay, yes. Sorry, EHP. But look, I haven't researched their products. So I know that for a fact that I wouldn't go to them. I see people that obviously Yaku De Brain and Zach Pana, people big up in the industry, are sponsored by them and use their products. I'd still remain loyal to NPL if EHP offered me something.
Yeah, but I mean, like even the thing with the EHP as well, man. I mean, like NPL is good, right? Then you get EHP. EHP, they're okay. I mean, they're not amazing. I mean, yeah. So I mean, that's the whole thing. It kind of has to weigh on your own judgment as well, you know.
Yes, exactly, and that's I guess to sum it all up is there's fakeness in the industry, and the real needs to start coming out. More people, I'm gonna say like myself, should be given an opportunity or platform to say it like it is in a better way. So as much as what I don't think there was any cyberbullying taking place in South Africa's fitness industry, I believe that it could have been handled better. It could have been asked in a different manner, or a filtering could have taken place to not to prevent people's feelings from getting hurt, but to put it out there so that the general public didn't criticize the industry itself.
Yeah.
That goes for companies, that goes for people, that goes for natural athletes, enhanced athletes, that goes for competing. The truth should always be at the forefront. You shouldn't just look at likes, views, comments, subscribers, etc.
Yeah, 100%. And what kind of supplements are you on now? Anything new from NPL that you've been using?
Shameless supplement plug, yes. I've been using their new Muscle Armor. So basically, Muscle Armor is the rebranded Refuel. The beginning of last year, they took it off the shelves because they wanted to start this new series called the Concept Series. And basically, what the Concept Series is, it's a combination of all the products for people who understand how they work in conjunction with each other and who don't want to buy single ingredients. So Refuel, or Muscle Armor as it's now named, is a EAA, branched chain amino acid, glutamine combination, but it also has a creatine in there and your electrolyte replenishment. So when you're training, you kind of want to hydrate the muscle. You kind of, not a lot of people do, And so what the electrolytes, it obviously just keeps you hydrated, keeps you going. I myself only use it when I'm in a deficit or when I want the water to taste like something. Because when you're in a surplus, when you eating enough protein, when you have enough nutrients, your amino acids aren't doing that much. Okay. And I do use it for flavor because I'm not a fan of drinking water when I train, but it does make a massive difference when I'm in a deficit. I can definitely feel the help. I definitely feel the performance benefits, and obviously it's a nicer way of getting my creatine in.
Okay, and yeah.
So the concept series is a good series.
Okay, and you are talking about your calories. How many calories are you on now? Just interesting.
Okay, so because of lockdown, the past 2 weeks I've just been eating intuitively. So if I'm very hungry, I'll have a massive meal. If I'm not hungry, I'll have, let's say, a shake and fruit or something. But if I want to snack here and there, I'm going to. Today I kind of started a new plan with my dad. He went over it. I'm on 2,300 calories as of today. I'm going to be on that for the next 2 weeks or so. With one cheat meal a week, I am tracking my cheat meals. So I will substitute 2 meals with at least 1,000 calorie cheat meal. And that will obviously take me into like a 250 to 500 calorie surplus. So at most, I'll eat 2,800 calories to 3,000. But I'm kind of maintaining at a 2-3. I'm doing 40 minutes of fasted cardio every day, 7 days a week. That will taper off to about 5 days a week. And closer to the comp prep, I will increase it again. It will start slow at 30 minutes, 7 days a week, and then obviously increase as time goes on. But my dad will be coaching me through that if the show still takes place.
Okay, yeah, cool. And yeah, I mean, obviously, I have heard your thoughts on doing cardio every day. I'm also quite a fan of doing cardio every day. I think people kind of have a misunderstanding. You know, it's also for your general well-being as well. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's cardiovascular. So obviously people need to understand it's not just because we want to look good, we want to feel good, we want our hearts to function optimally. And people don't realize that. How many minutes are you on, by the
Well,
way?
I'm back on 30 minutes every day. I know I was doing about, when I was kind of cutting down, I was doing about also maybe 40 minutes every single day as well. So yeah, I think 40 minutes is more or less my sweet spot, but obviously closer to the time of comp, you have to kind of see how everything is and everything's looking to bump it up more or whatnot.
Exactly. I don't want to give away all of my secrets, but I would go to about an hour's cardio fasted every day. I just prefer it fasted because my stomach's empty. I myself am able to push, and it's also like it gets me started for the day. Obviously there's no real extreme fat loss benefit from doing it fasted. It's just
Yeah.
I prefer to do it that way. Some people that are listening might prefer to do it post-workout, or maybe before they sleep. That's perfectly fine. The main thing is burning off calories. So I've dropped my calories to 1,000 doing an hour's cardio every day, and that was not healthy. So I do not promote that. I do promote tracking your calories, and as much as what people say macronutrients don't really matter, if I have too much fats, my body doesn't look good. I look softer. It doesn't work well. Same thing if I have too much carbohydrates. And that's why I'll push my protein. I guess it's just the source of the calories that matter.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about your corner.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I agree the same, man. If I'm prepping on something, it has to be good quality carbs, man. You know, obviously the staples, sweet potato, brown rice. It really does make a difference at the end of the day. I know some guys like if it's your macros, but maybe that's them. But to me, that's just the way I see it. That's the way I've always believed as well. If you're eating good quality, you get good quality.
That's exactly my thing. Yes, 500 calories of a McDonald's burger is the same as me eating sweet potato and steak, but the sweet potato and steak is going to make my body look a certain way versus the McDonald's burger. I won't be as soft. I won't feel as slow and sluggish. And that's my main thing. My main thing is, yes, you can do an if it's your macros, but our physiques will definitely look different.
Yeah, 100%, man. And what are you missing now during this lockdown period? Because, you know, we can't go to fast food places yet. So what are you missing at the moment?
I have not had a McDonald's burger and McFlurry in a very long time. I think that's top of my list. And then it would be Burger King and sushi. Sushi is definitely up there. And for yourself?
Oh, but I'm with you on McD's. Eh? I don't know if you saw Shaven's story about the kid crying eating a McD's burger. Yeah. I think I'm feeling like that, man.
That's you. Yeah, that's definitely.
Shit.
I'm feeling it. I'm probably my goal is to diet down. Obviously, stay on these 2,300 calories, maybe the entirety of this lockdown, and then post lockdown have a massive cheat and full it. Do maybe a 10,000 calorie cheat day again. Okay. I know my body can handle it, so I would probably do something like that, or I would do like all my favorite foods at once in one go and just see how many calories I can consume. I'm probably leaning more towards something like that.
Okay, there's one question I want to ask, man. Geez, I think. Okay, yes. Wait. Let me just try and track back to make sure I'm asking the right question. Okay, when you prepping, what's your like? Will you keep on 2,300 calories? Because I know you said after lockdown's finished, you're going to obviously reevaluate everything. But what's your standardized calorie intake like during prep? Obviously, not giving anything away, but would you say it's way below 2,000 or 2,000 on the dot or what?
Okay, so my past two coaches, Vic used to keep me on 1,800 and then play around with carb cycling. So then I'd fluctuate between 1.6 and 1.9. And then I dropped down like the last 4 weeks to about 1,500. And yes, I suffered, but I was at least healthier back then. Last year, the lowest I've been was about 1,000 to 1,200, doing an hour's cardio and getting in at least 15,000 steps a day. So I was very active. I was burning a lot and I wasn't eating a lot. I ended up becoming very stringy too early and then overspilled with the carb up. So yes, I looked great on stage, but I could have looked a lot better. Every time I've done it myself, I would be sitting on about 2,000 right until the end, and I'd increase my cardio, and that would be my way of burning calories. I would drop it down to about 1,800. So at the moment, it will depend on what my dad says, but the lowest I would probably ever go is about 1,500.
Yes, man. So you're saying you went all the way to 1,000? Jeez.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was really bad. I couldn't focus. I would fall asleep behind the wheel with driving, and I looked amazing. Give it to my coach for that. But also from a health perspective, I was not healthy.
So I mean, would you agree that dieting for longer on like a higher amount of calories, say for example 2,000, is obviously safer than starting off at a lower point and then just kind of dropping it all the way down?
Yeah, look, obviously we want to hold as much muscle as possible while dropping body fat. We kind of want to still grow in prep. In my opinion, the longer you keep calories in while dropping it some other way. So the more active you are, the more you are doing cardio or walking around during the day, you're going to be burning off calories. But if you're consuming enough around your workout, you're able to push yourself and you're able to train, and that's where you're breaking down the muscle to build it up again. So yes, I would suggest doing. Look, I like long preps. The longest prep I did was with Victor. That was 24 weeks. Last year was a 20-week prep.
Okay, so that was like 6 months.
It's long. Um, I dieted from like, okay, so when I mean prep, I mean it went up and then down. Um, Last year was I dropped from March till August.
Okay, that's quite long, man. But at least you were able to sustain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. I think with me counting my calories and stuff during
Yeah.
like my mini kind of lean down phase, I think I was able to understand my body a lot better than I ever have
Mm-hmm.
before because I never used to track calories or anything. But I remember Chavin like telling me instinctively, like, dude, you need to track your calories. Like, how many calories are you having? I'm like, bro, I don't do that kind of stuff. I just have what I want kind of thing. But after I tracked it,
Yeah.
man, I was like, shit, you know what? If I drop below like 1.8 for a sustained amount of time, like I end up losing a lot more muscle mass
Yeah.
and I end up looking just small, which I don't want. So
Yes.
I came up with my own solution. I was like, you know what? Go on like maybe 2,000 calories, but sustain it and keep it like for a longer period of time. And then obviously you'll burn this muscle mass.
Yes. Yes. 100%. I agree with you. I would then just, instead of doing 40 minutes of cardio, increase it to an hour. You can split it 30-30, but you kind of want to be burning those calories off when you're active, and keep the food in, keep the nutrients, because that's what's helped repairing the muscle when you break it down
Yeah,
during
100%.
training.
I think people don't understand that when you cutting, your immune system's like under big pressure, man. And those extra nutrients, those good nutrients will really help that.
100%. And it helps with brain function. Obviously, we talking when you get like below
Yeah.
6%, it becomes a lot more
Yeah.
difficult. But that's why we bodybuilders. That's why we take things to extremes. If you're just a regular guy who wants to drop his body fat, drop it till your physique looks good. Don't drop it to look for a body fat percentage. Drop it till you're happy with your physique. And if that means you dieting for 6 months of the year on 2,000 calories, better do that and increase your cardio than crash diet because you're gonna just binge and go back to where you started.
Yeah, 100%, man. I saw something interesting. They say that scientifically, if you want to lose weight, you have to keep your calories at about 1,900, which I think it's pretty much on point, to be honest.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I might actually look at a couple more studies. My dad's actually done a course through some Australian company that specializes in bodybuilding, and actually the president of ICN wrote in this book as well, because
Yeah.
he's got his master's degree, and it tells you how to check for your fat-free weight, how long to actually diet, how much to drop if you have a specific body fat or body type. If you should be eating carbohydrates or your calories should come from protein. So that's why I believe in the source of calories matter, because you probably know yourself, per gram of protein is 4 calories and the same for
Yeah.
carbohydrates. But if I have, let's say, 20 calories of carbohydrates versus 20 calories of protein, I feel different eating the carbohydrates. I feel slower. Whereas if I eat the protein, yes, I might not have explosive energy, but I just feel better and my physique
Yeah,
looks different.
100%. And I think I've seen this course. It was on the email from Eugene, right?
Yes, 100%. We got it for his Christmas present. So he should write the exam sometime soon. Then he'll be a qualified coach,
Oh, that's cool,
basically.
man. And how much does a course like that go for? Just so people that are keen like would know.
Um, the course itself was on special when we bought it, so it was 4.5 grand. But it goes for anywhere between 6 and 10,000
Sure,
rand.
all right. And is your father enjoying it? Like, is he thinks it's worth it?
Look, we bought it for him, so he's obviously not gonna think it's worth it. But I think that he enjoyed it. He read the entire book within a week. Then he read it again to understand it, started testing out the methods on himself, started testing them out on me. When he tested them out on me, my physique changed immediately. I mean, I am 83 kilos right now, which is 5 kilos off of my stage weight from August, and it's almost been a year. but my physique has completely changed, and I don't look like I'm 83, which I think means that it's actually working.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I know one topic you do want to speak about is mental health. So, like,
Yes.
how important is mental health? You know, just not just with bodybuilding, just with daily living.
This is another topic in its own, but I agree with you 100% with that mental health is not just for bodybuilding, not just for fitness athletes, but for general people. And the main thing is, look, if you're not happy, you're not going to succeed in anything. I think everybody can agree with that. If you're not happy doing something that you actually are doing, you're not going to do it to your full potential. You're not going to be successful in it. So if you're not looking out for yourself, no one else is going to look out for you, unfortunately. And Gary Vee made this one quote that said, like, if you don't care what other people think about you, you are at your most happiest. You are happiest at that point because you are happy with yourself and you are healthy mentally. You're able to succeed because you're focusing on you. So I think it's very, very
Yeah,
important.
100%. Have you had any like negative experiences? Like, were you on any medication or anything like that, you know, for anxiety, or have you suffered from anxiety or depression? Or
I don't think to the extent that most people do. I have never been on any medication. I've never had to go to a psychologist. Never really had to speak to someone because I could kind of just deal with it myself. I think I'm pretty lucky that way. But so for me personally, it came off a bodybuilding prep. I still probably have an eating disorder, but what happens is I kept looking at my physique, and this is exactly what happened. Okay, so post show, I dieted again for a photo shoot the next week. It was very difficult to keep my calories very low. I was basically starving myself. Did the photo shoot, I was happy. Had a cheat meal that day, and after that, I saw my body getting watery, and I didn't like it. So I increased cardio. I kept my calories at about 1,300, and I kept doing an hour's cardio, 1,300 calories for 3 days. And then on the third day, I'd binge eat and I'd take maybe 10,000 calories. Then I'd feel bad. The next day, drop my calories again. And I'd diet down for another 4 to 5 days. And then on the fifth day, binge. And it happened for about a month before I actually realized what I was doing and I didn't like it. Even though my physique looked phenomenal, I was sitting at 6%, 7% for like 4 or 5 weeks. And I just didn't feel good. My training wasn't great. My relationships weren't great. And so I told my dad about it. I said, Dad, I've got an eating disorder. I need help. I would look at calories at every single thing. I'd count every single thing and I became obsessed with it. So I took a break completely. I took a week off of training. I took a week off of eating. I basically ate what I wanted to eat. I was hungry and on a prep for Melbourne, more of a healthier eating. And after my dad's show, I just enjoyed myself there. And that's kind of when I picked myself back up and I was able to understand eating again, find my rhythm, find my body, understand what I enjoyed again, how my body reacted to certain foods. And then that's when my dad took over and kind of prepped me after that. So I didn't have to count calories. Yes, I still look at certain things if I can swap out something, but I'm not obsessed.
yeah, man, shit. Yeah, I mean that's pretty hectic, man.
And from your side, I know I've seen all the
bro.
Instagram stories, but
yeah, man. I mean, like, I think obviously one of the points is that with my personal relationship with my father, it hasn't always been the best, and always trying to seek validation from your father is obviously a big thing because you know that's like what's supposed to happen. You know, you get the validation from your father, you get the love, you get this, you get that, the support. It's just
yes.
something I've never got from him. But like as the older I got, the more I kind of had to understand from his perspective. He's just trying to kind of gear me up, and I think you kind of have to be in a positive limelight as well. You can't just be negative and think, this guy doesn't like me because, he's just an arsehole. But at the same token, I have to just be positive, man. It's just say, okay, this guy's treating me in a way because that's maybe how he was brought up. But at the same time, I don't want to pass those traits on to other people that I know, it's just negativity and stuff, because that's just not how I want to be. Because growing up, I was obviously verbally abused, and he was one of those people that would also verbally abuse me. And it was quite hard, especially now that, during this high school phase, I kind of found myself and found bodybuilding. But at the same time, now I'm changing my physique, but he would still have something to say about it. He would still be like, you know what, you're a clown. You're never going to make it, this and that. And those things kind of fueled me in a way. But then later on in life, I kind of let that be my downfall. And that's what kind of caused me so much anxiety and depression, was trying to live up to his expectation. And then I learned from myself that, you know what, you don't have to live to anyone's expectation, but do what makes you feel happy. And if it's your father or family member or someone like that, man, it's irrelevant. End of the day, you got to do you, and that's just life.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I agree. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so I mean, dude, I've had my fair shares of going to the ER and being on Xanax and everything else. But, I think when you kind of, give yourself that extra freedom to be who you want to be, then you're free, man. So I think that's the best thing, bro. Like, it took a few years, but yeah, man, I'm happy, bro. Like, I think that's obviously the most important thing. I also follow therapy quite often. So guys like that help in many ways, bro. Many ways, as you know.
Yeah, I think so. If a platform like that were to speak about as much as what he speaks about mental health, about being happy, if there was a fitness profile that had that kind of attention and that kind of reach, I think we'd have a very different industry, and it would be probably the biggest industry in the world.
Yeah, but like I think what everyone hit on the interview as well was that just people don't like each other, and for no valid reason whatsoever. It's just like man, I'm gonna be honest. There's people that I thought I'd never be in connection with or like talk to, because just from the outset I was just very negative and naive. I'll be like, you know what, I don't like this guy. He's sponsored by this company, or I don't like this guy because I don't know, because he uses Herbalife or some shit like that. But once you get to know the person, then everything kind of changes. You have to understand that people have to put food at the dinner table and stuff like that. They have a life and jobs too, and maybe this is what helps them get that income. So I think very few people are willing to actually understand other people and just try and be accepting. And I think that's the biggest issue. I don't think. I mean, especially in this industry, by the way, you are going to get judged no matter what, because you put your body out there, you put your opinions out there, and you're going to get people that just don't like you, man. I mean, I've had it. Obviously, the person that wrote the thing about me saying, I don't know about supplements because I don't lift. He obviously likes me. I mean, dislikes me for a reason, bro. But like, end of the day, as my friend from Review Bro said, he said, dude, there's a block button for a reason. Use it. And I've kind of had to deal with my issues like that, bro. I'm like, if this guy doesn't like me, I'm not going to fight about it. I mean, that's his problem. I just block and then move on.
I couldn't agree more. I think more people need to see that or hear this, and actually understand that no one's really going to like you. Not everybody is going to like you, I should rather say. I mean, you have a favorite celebrity for a reason. Or if you look at, for example, in a movie, some people like the villain, some people absolutely hate the villain.
Yeah.
You take it as it comes. It is what it is. I'm not going to be the same as you. I'm a different person. I'm me. And the more people understand that, the less mental health problems that we'll have, I think. The less people would judge themselves, and more people will be happy.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I mean, end of the day, bro, everyone's going through their own kind of struggles and fights, and it will be a lot easier if there wasn't all this animosity between everyone. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know if the industry will ever change. I think it was just a good insight to what Albert did in a way, just to see people's real, hidden intentions and agenda, it's just crazy, man. Like
Yeah.
I saw a story, bro, and those stories are going on for like miles, man. And as he said too, like he didn't put up everything because it just got a bit too personal, which I think is good on Alva's part as well, you know, because he didn't want to stir like the pot.
Yes, that's there. I think when he should have probably started filtering a lot sooner, just to protect some people's mental health, which this did target. And the fact that he did end up stopping was a good thing.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. But yeah, I mean, like in this industry, bro. I mean, I've learned it from like day one. It's just that people are going to talk shit about you, and if you don't look a certain way or to their liking, they're just not going to like you, man. But at the end of the day, I think that's like for everyone to take on themselves because everyone handles criticism differently, man. I mean, if someone told me this last year, bro, I would have probably had a panic attack, man. But someone told me this year, I'm chill, dude. I'm like, you know what? I know myself. Hey, you know what? That's fine. That's your own opinion of me. You're entitled to it. Like I'm entitled to mine. But I know myself. And you know what, bro? Like the most powerful thing that I've said to myself is that you are you, and that's your power. You know, you have to embrace it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, bro. So
I think I'm going to steal that quote.
yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, okay. And then also one question I also want to ask, but do you have anyone you look up to
Yes.
in the bodybuilding world, like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Ronnie Coleman or the newer guys there, like you mentioned, Chris Bumstead?
Okay, so old school, I would definitely go Frank Zane. I love his flow. I think that's why I learned how to vacuum. And that's kind of the physique that I'm chasing. When he won his first Mr. Olympia, that's the ultimate physique for me. Like, I don't want to be a mass monster. Yes, I'd love to look like Regan Grimes has a very nice frame,
Yeah,
and Chris Bumstead, certain features I really like on them. Um, Obviously, I admire all the classic physique guys, Breon Ainsley, Arash Rabar, and then the open guys now would be definitely Regan Grimes and Sergio Jr. He's
yeah,
got a really good physique, and Patrick Moore. So I'm looking for more of that, not massy shape, but guys who still chase conditioning. They have the mass, but they chase that slim waist, nice flow.
yeah, 100%. And what do you think of Arnold Schwarzenegger? Because I know normally when I mention like who's the guy I look up to, everyone's just Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Um, Look, he paved the way for bodybuilding in America and all around the world, and I guess he's an icon to a lot of people.
Yeah,
He's the bodybuilder. To me, he's got a great chest. That's basically what I see. He paved the way, and he's got a great chest. Not taking it in, taking anything away from him. He's just not the physique that I'd be
yeah,
chasing.
100%. I mean, like I have my own unpopular opinion. I think that in some ways he's very much overrated because if you see them comparing his physique to, say, for example, Ronnie Coleman, Dorian Yates, man, these guys like edit his picture and make his biceps bigger and his chest even bigger and his legs bigger. It's just like, and the thing is, people don't go the extra mile to actually like look at Arnold's physique the way it really was, but they see this YouTube video or this thumbnail and they're like, shit, Arnold Schwarzenegger was really that big back in the day, but you can't compare Arnold Schwarzenegger to a fully prime Ronnie Coleman or even like any kind of bodybuilder today because they're all on top of that. I mean, I remember hearing Arnold Schwarzenegger saying too, I think during his Pumping Iron, they had like a segment afterwards, like in 2003 for the Arnold Classic. He said too, he said, and these guys are so much bigger
Yeah,
than me. And if he's saying that then,
yeah.
like how can you even consider comparing his physique to the guys of today or 10 years ago? You can't, man.
I saw a post now that you mentioned this comparing um where they compared natural or aesthetics back then to aesthetics now, and you see a massive difference. Blockier waists back then, now you see a more tapered waist, you see more of an X frame, versus there you saw a really good physique, but a blockier waist, less of a flow, less of a quad sweep. The debate is that science changed it. Science changed the physiques. Science changed the way that we grow. And I think it's also the machines that we use. And I think that's why people would try and compare Arnold to now. You can't compare it, but that's why they would try.
Yeah. Oh. But I mean, I don't know if you heard of this. There's a guy named Casey Vital.
No, I've not heard that. Is he a bodybuilder?
Yeah. Basically, he created like this machine back in the day, which was like this
Okay.
ultimate bodybuilding machine, and he had like this like protocol where a guy gained like, I think it was like 10 or 20 kgs of muscle in 3 weeks.
That's insane.
But like he would train like these weird splits, man. He'll do like chest and back, like maybe twice or thrice a week, and kind of different things like that to gain that kind of musculature within those 3 weeks. I'm just interested if it will still work now, because apparently there was no gear being used. The guy was apparently like watched 24/7 to make sure he wasn't using any gear. So it was like apparently like a legit.
I don't
Yeah.
think.
So I'm actually going to try and find the article, I think on T Nation, and then maybe just put it up and see what everyone thinks about it, because I think it's interesting, man. Like if someone, especially during this lockdown phase, no one knows how long it's going to go down for, but I think the main guy I think about is you, dude, because I see you got like a setup, so it will be.
Thank you.
I'm saying if you can do like that thing to make sure, like if it's actually legit, if you follow it to the T, because I've always wondered, bro. But like I know, like I'm lacking like quite a bit of equipment, but I was just like I've always wanted to do it, but like hey, like I think his genetics. I mean, he'll grow, just walking every day, So I think it's quite yeah. So I think I'll find the article and just put it up
crazy.
and see what you think.
Okay, no, I'll be definitely interested to see what happens. I started a new program. Well, not a new program today, but like an adapted old program of mine that really worked.
Okay.
But look, if I'll read the article, I'll see what happens. I know for sure that I wouldn't be able to put on 10 kilos of muscle in 3 weeks. And that's my goal. Obviously, that's my goal. I want to be standing on stage at 80 kilos at a sub 5% body fat. I'm still years away from it, but look, if this article debunks some myth or debunks some training style that no one's actually tried, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I was quite a fan of Mark Metzer as well. His training philosophy and everything like that. I mean, I think that's what always made me different to everyone else. But I mean, I like different stuff, different bodybuilders. You'll never see me talking about like a standard bodybuilder. I'll mention guys that people don't know about, just because I think that's why like people start the sport as well, because it's not every day someone's going to be like, hey, I want to be a bodybuilder. But as I mentioned in the beginning, it's kind of being phased out, bro, like completely. It's like, no one's doing it for the passion anymore, but it's just more for like the likes and, the kind of good things that follow if you do, play your role right, and you get the followers and you get, people on your back and I mean, on your side and stuff like that.
I agree with you. I think people are bodybuilding now to, like you say, to look good for social media, not to enjoy the sport as it was.
Yeah, man, it's sad, bro. It's sad. Oh. But yeah, bro, I think we hit like a lot of points today, man. Like it was really good, bro. I hope like you enjoyed it.
No, this was awesome. Obviously it's my first podcast, so it was pretty interesting, pretty cool to get through a lot of topics. We were all over the place, but I hope it obviously made sense to the public. But look, we discussed a lot of things regarding both natural bodybuilding, enhanced bodybuilding, obviously touched on both our backgrounds. We covered the mental health aspect and also we covered a couple of supplements. So I think we hit the nail on the head, as they say.
Yeah, bro. So I mean, is there anything else you want to say to those listening there, like words to keep you things that keep you inspired, like what's your motivational quote that you want to give out?
Do your best every day until your best gets better. And I think people should live by that, because you're in competition with yourself. And it doesn't matter whether you are doing the best you are today, as long as it was better than yesterday. even if that means you ate one less calorie today than you did yesterday, you did better. And that's the main thing. So always just, that's what I say to myself, do better than yesterday.
Yeah, 100%, but 100%. All right, Craig. Well, again, man, thanks so much for joining, bro. I really appreciate it, man. And yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to have you back on the future, bro, once, you know, lockdown's finish and the road to RCN begins.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be keen for that. We can touch on maybe what both of us are doing differently in terms of prep wise. Obviously, not giving away too much, but I'd be very interested to share with people how to start to prep.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, I haven't competed in like, I think 5 years, bro. So I have to dust off the cobweb and yeah, I'll get back on it.
It's going to be interesting.
It
Really,
will be,
really,
bud.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, cool, my man. Well, again, bro, thanks so much. And yeah, man, appreciate your time, bro.
Awesome.
All
Thanks.
right, thanks,
Keep
man.
well.